Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. Got your questions here from twitter.com/AaronRift. That is where you can submit questions for NoDQ&A video. Let's get started here with the first one today, which comes from Marcoin. Do you see Sting turning heel at Night of Champions? Sting sucking up to Triple H and the rumored Rollins-Triple H feud all lead to a possible double turn. From there, Rollins can feud with Triple H as a babyface and somehow Sting feuding with Undertaker as a heel. To me, that would just not work out. Sting is a heel. It's been tried before and it has never worked. It did not work in WCW. It did not work in TNA, and I certainly do not have confidence in the WWE writing team to make Sting a credible heel. It's just not really feasible. Sting is a beloved legend in the wrestling business. Fans are not going to boo the guy, and I don't even think with good writing you could get fans to boo the guy, and I certainly don't think the creative team is capable of making the Sting character a heel that people would boo and want to boo. I just don't think it would work even if the writing team was capable of it. So no, I do not see Sting going heel. I think that that would be a terrible idea. As far as Seth Rollins going babyface, there is something you could do in terms of screwing over Seth Rollins at the pay-per-view and setting up a Seth Rollins versus Triple H feud. But at this stage of the game, I think Rollins is better off being a heel and Triple H as a babyface. That certainly seems to be the direction that WWE's going in. And I got this question here from Daniel Westerman. Hey Aaron, at Night of Champions, could you see Triple H sending Sheamus to cash in? Sting could pin Sheamus, which would set up Rollins versus Triple H. This I do not see happening because of the fact that Sheamus has already appeared on Raw and has teased cashing in Money in the Bank. Traditionally, when somebody comes out who holds the Money in the Bank briefcase and they tease cashing it in, that's an indication that it doesn't happen, because when people cash in Money in the Bank, it's usually a surprise. It's something that we don't see coming. It's not like the guy telegraphs that he's going to cash it in and then he actually does it. Now, of course, there's always exceptions to the rule, and maybe Sheamus will appear at Night of Champions and attempt to cash it in. But I would be shocked if he actually did cash it in successfully at the pay-per-view. And I would be surprised if he shows up, period. But anything's possible, and that is certainly a way that you could escalate the storyline between Seth Rollins and Triple H. But it really doesn't make much sense. The storyline is that Triple H and Stephanie want Seth Rollins to prove that he is the man, that he can overcome all obstacles. But then again, they could throw Sheamus in there, but really wouldn't make sense because it's just stacking the deck too much. And you know, the idea is that they want Seth Rollins to defend both of his titles, and I just think it would be overkill. It seems like doing something like that would be more of revenge, something you were doing if you're trying to get revenge on the guy. You would have Sheamus come out and get him out there to try and cash in Money in the Bank. It just seems like they want Rollins to prove that he's as good as he claims he is. Alright, this one comes from Daniel Jobber. What do you think of the idea of Triple H interfering at Night of Champions to cost Rollins the WWE title against Sting? This I could see as more of a possibility. Triple H perhaps getting involved in the title match, and maybe even not on purpose, but by accident, costing Seth Rollins the WWE title. That is something I could see playing out. As I've talked about in previous videos, it seems like the future direction is Seth Rollins versus Triple H, but I really hope that Sting doesn't end up being a bit player in this. If the attention is diverted too much to Triple H, then I don't think I'm going to be a big fan of it. I think it will be, once again, not utilizing Sting to the best of your ability. You could do something that isn't, you know, so over the top that slowly builds up to a Seth Rollins Triple H split. Some little thing like Triple H maybe comes out and accidentally costs Rollins the match, and you slowly build up to a breakup between the two of them. Don't do anything too significant. to take away from the impact of Sting winning the WWE title. And I do feel that Sting should win the title. WWE has gone this far with Sting, and you know, he's 0-1 in WWE. I think he needs this win at least for a short period of time, and then he can lose the title back to Rollins or Sheamus or whoever. And got this one from Beast Slayer. The storyline is now visually preparing Seth Rollins versus Triple H. When do you think that will take place? Well, honestly, I think that they should wait until WrestleMania to do Seth Rollins versus Triple H. Just looking at potential opponents, I mean, I would like to see that Shield triple threat, but at this point, I feel like that is something that seems like it's less and less likely to happen. I think the money is in a Triple H versus Seth Rollins feud. That is something that they have been teasing for months now, and you can continue building towards WrestleMania and doing that match between the two of them. It's a storyline that has been playing out for a couple years now, with Seth Rollins being the leader of the Authority. Actually, not a couple years, more like a year and a half, but by the time WrestleMania rolls around, it'll be close to 2 years. I think it would be best to take place at WrestleMania. Either that or the Shield triple threat. I mean, one of those matches should be Seth Rollins' match for WrestleMania. And I got this question here from Liam Cooper. Do you think Seth Rollins should go for the WWE IC title and become the first ever Triple Crown champion in WWE history? Once again, I think that that would be too much. I think by doing that, you would be just making the storyline too complicated. Seth Rollins is already going for 2 matches. He's defending both titles at the pay-per-view. And I think that's all you need. I don't think you need to complicate things by having him go for yet another title. It's just too much. It's really not necessary. The way they're doing it right now, I think is just fine. And I got this one from Daniel Westerman again. If Magnum TA did not get hurt and Brian Pillman did not die, how far would they have gone in the business, and who would have made a bigger impact? That's an interesting question. I think Pillman probably would have been a bigger star just because of the era that he was in. He was in the WWE as the company was really starting to rise, and I think there's no question him and Steve Austin would have had a feud in '98 if he had lived, and that would have been huge box office. With Magnum TA, I mean, there's always the possibility that he would have caught on, and he would have been a major star in the NWA, and they would have continued to rise as a result of him being a major star, but looking back at history, I mean, the NWA started going downhill in '87, '88. I don't know if Magnum TA would have been a big enough star to really save them and prevent them from getting to the point where Ted Turner had to step in and buy the company from Jim Crockett. Alright, this one comes from Mike. Would you like to see a Randy Orton versus Finn Balor match? I think that would be an excellent feud, and would you enjoy that feud? Sure, I think that would be an interesting feud. I think there's a lot of guys that Finn Balor could have a memorable feud with in WWE. Randy Orton is definitely one of those top options if WWE decides to turn Randy Orton once again. You know, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. There's a lot of guys. Dolph Ziggler. There's so many people that Finn Balor could have a great feud with, and that's yet another reason why I think he's going to do really well in WWE. Not just for having the look and having the in-ring skills, but when you look at the roster, he can have feuds with guys for years in WWE, and you know, there's no shortage of guys for him to feud with, and he'll be able to have great matches with just about all the guys that are on top in WWE. So I really feel that he'll do well with any number of people, not just Randy Orton. Alright, this one comes from RailTube. Was Great Khali worthy of a title shot at One Night Stand 2007? If he returns, should he revive his old badass gimmick? Use in video. I think it's too late for Khali. I think he's too old, and you know, he was not very agile 10 years ago, and if he came back now, there's even less he would be able to do, and he played that comedy character for so long. It's just it's past his time. I mean, I don't see him coming back and being a monster again. It's just way too late for that. As far as him getting the title shot in 2007, I mean, he was still a credible monster heel at the time, and to some degree it did work. It wasn't like he was the champion on Raw. He was a champion on SmackDown. The SmackDown title wasn't as prestigious, so WWE could get away with it. And he had enough credibility at that time as a monster that, you know, I was fine with him having a short run as a champion. Alright, this one comes from Larry Arrowwood. What was a better pay-per-view, WrestleMania 20 or SummerSlam 2002? Well, WrestleMania 20 has that infamous Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar match, which everybody hated. SummerSlam 2002 really had no match that people looked down upon. And because of that, when you look at the entire card from start to finish, I mean, SummerSlam 2002 really had no weak point. So I think I would give the edge to SummerSlam 2002. But WrestleMania 20, if you take out that Goldberg-Brock Lesnar match, you know, there were no real weak spots on that pay-per-view either. So it's really tough to say, but I think I would go with SummerSlam 2002. Alright, that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Make sure you follow NoDQ on Twitter at twitter.com/NoDQDOTCOM. Also, one more plug here. Check out the NoDQ discussion group at facebook.com/groups/NoDQDOTCOM. We got lots of interesting characters in that discussion group, but it's fun, it's entertaining, so check that out. And of course, stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the latest news and rumors regarding WWE United Champions 2015. We'll have coverage of the event. Stay tuned for that. And on that note, I will see you guys next time for another edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks for watching.